Welcome back to this video segment. How is everyone in the community doing? I hope you guys woke up on the right side of the bed. I hope your weekend just started off really well. Thank you for joining back to watch the video. As usual, you know what I'm here to do now. I'm here to give you guys updates relating to Nigerian Super Eagles and everything in between. This past weekend, that's yesterday and day before yesterday, Saturdays and Sundays, we saw a number of games go down, and a lot of our players, just like they did last 2 weekends, also made us proud. And talking about the likes of Victor Boniface, Victor Osimhen, all being very instrumental for their different club sides, providing assists for Victor Osimhen. He provided assists, which is back-to-back assists for him, in 2 games. And we are still waiting for the man to get his first goal for Galatasaray team. I know it's going to be very chaotic when that goal finally comes, not just from we Nigerian fans who are cheering him every step of the way, but also for the Galatasaray fans who appear to love him very much. Like, we just see that every week in, week out, how these guys support him, how they cheer him, chant his name whenever he shows up in the match, and all sorts of things. So I can't wait to get to see this man score his first official goal for Galatasaray. But it didn't come on Saturday, which obviously was a very big fixture. I talked about that before that game with a video where I obviously talked about the rivalry between Victor Osimhen and Jose Mourinho in that Istanbul City debut, which is obviously always a big fixture or a big encounter in the Turkey Super League, because like it or not, these two teams are two of the biggest clubs in Turkey. Yeah, so it's always something of a large crowd, of a large buzz whenever these two teams play. But I couldn't be happier that the game went to Osimhen's side, because then it ended up winning that game 3-1. Osimhen started that game and performed really well, created an assist with a very solid chest pass, which to be honest, it was very fantastic. But I wasn't surprised, because I've seen Osimhen do all sort of fantastic display on the pitch, right from Napoli, with and all of that. So, but again, take nothing away from that chest pass. It was a beautifully tucked in pass for his friend and teammate Dries Martins, who thankfully converted that goal to make it. At the time, they were playing 1-0. So that goal was the one that put them 2-0 in front of Fenerbahce, but he ended 3-0 later on. Edin Dzeko scoring from the penalty spot for the consolation goal. But great one for Osimhen. We can't wait for him to get on the score sheet, for this Galatasaray. But moving on, guys, we also had incredible performances from other of our players, the likes of Victor Boniface coming in as a substitution, as a super sub, in fact, to get that all-important winner for Bayern Leverkusen, as they faced a very strong Wolfsburg side. The game ended up in the favor of Bayern Leverkusen, 4-3. Boniface got that goal in the 90 plus 3 minutes to win the match for his Leverkusen. And again, back-to-back solid performances for this man. Last 2 weekends, he netted 2 goals, created 1 assist, and then this weekend, he comes in from the bench to get the winner for this team. And just so so nice to see this man continuing from last season. And again, it shows you what Alonso has been able to do with this guy. I just hope that Guavon is going to be able to replicate how Alonso is using this man, so that he knows how to play him when he comes home. But aside from that, in the EPL, we had a number of encounters as well. I did talk about that in the last video. Fulham playing their game over the weekend against a very stubborn Newcastle side. Kevin Bassey started that match and had a strong input for 90 minutes. And for Iwobi as well, he also got the nod to start the match and created several chances, providing 1 assist in the end. Had 3 shots on target, but the most important thing for Alex Iwobi now is that he has set a new record for a Nigerian Super Eagles player uh, who has the highest assist in the EPL, in the history of EPL. Initially, he was on tie points with Papilo Kanuanko at 29 assists total, but right now he has set a new record with 30 goals. Congratulations to the man. And moving on, in Scotland, we had Rangers play against Dundee United. That was on Saturday. So with Dresser, showing up for his Rangers side with two emphatic goals on the night to help Rangers beat Dundee United by 3 goals to 0. Dessers played for 68 minutes, uh, created 6 shots total, scored 2 goals. Congrats to the big man. We just have a lot of our players, a lot of our strikers who are scoring fantastically for their club sides now. Right now, it's a bit confusing for me. I don't even know, who to pick. I'm sure it's going to be a bit confusing for the coach, in terms of selecting striker for the next call up this October. We have a lot of them scoring. Josh Meyer, for example, is another player who scored a goal this weekend on Saturday as West Brom beats Plymouth Argyle 1 goal to 0. Josh Meyer continues his goal scoring form, and he is a Nigerian Super Eagles striker. He's actually played for us, one time, so he's still part of the equation, in terms of who Iguavon is going to call up. But moving away, guys, we had Moses Simon, repping his Nantes Football Club yesterday, as they were held to a 1-1 draw by Angas. Moses Simon provided an assist for Lieutenant, who scored early on in the 18th minute before being equalized in the 24th minute through a penalty by Abdeli. But moving on, we had Nottingham Forest play against Brighton, and Ola Aina was fantastic for that game for Nottingham Forest. It was actually a game that ended in 2-2 draw. Both teams are really in form, this season. Especially Nottingham Forest. This season they've not lost any game. Also, Brighton hasn't lost any game. But going into that match, Ola Aina said it that it was going to be a difficult match because they were ready for that match, and they proved that they were ready by getting at least a point from that game. They actually were on a losing side after Welbeck put Brighton in front, but Sosa equalized in the 70 plus minutes to draw them to level terms. Ola Aina, as you would expect, putting a really strong performance for this Nottingham Forest side. Featuring from the start of the game and playing for 90 minutes for that match. The disappointment for me was not being able to see Awoni make some appearance for this game. Chris Woods has obviously displaced him. He's been informed recently. He's been scoring goals. He actually scored in this match, but hopefully his chance is going to come sooner than later. And for our team, of course, that we have 2 games in October from the 11th of October, which is the new time that the CAF has slated for that game. We have a game on the 11th against Libya, and then the return fixture is going to be 4 days later at the home of Libya. The first one on the 11th is going to be, as usual, at the Goswi Akpabio Stadium, and the Guavon is already preparing the 35 players to be called up. Of course, we keep tabs on it and then let you guys know once anything is out.